This is the Betamax man. So we're working on the Sanyo 7500 again, and this has got some issues, and I'm not sure if it's a weak motor or just needing to be lubricated. Sometimes I'm having trouble with the idler, the real table motor assembly here. Sometimes the reels don't spin freely like they should, and sometimes I won't even be able to rewind or fast forward the tape. So what I'm doing is I took the reels out, and I'm going to do a real nice cleaning on the posts. I'm going to clean them with rubbing alcohol, and then I'm going to put just a drop of oil on each one, and then that should help with the problems of where the reels sometimes they're not. You go in to rewind and it won't rewind, or it won't fast forward. It's not eating tapes or anything, but still, you know, in that used belt that I put on the cassette housing is starting to fail. That belt is used, and I thought it would work, and it worked enough to get it going. I do have some new belts that I got in, and we're gonna put new belts on this thing, and we're gonna try to eliminate any issue with the rewinding and fast forwarding. You know, a lot of times if you got a Sanyo machine that's, you know, not playing or eating tapes, it's usually just the tires need to be replaced, the belts need to be replaced, and that's usually all there is to need to do on the Sanyos. But sometimes you can do all that and still have issues. And sometimes it is a just a simple lubrication issue where the old oil has dried up and is no longer giving lubrication. So, you know, sometimes it's just that, but then other times you may have to just put another idler motor on it, because you may have a failed motor. Okay, so I just cleaned the posts here. Now I'm just gonna put a little bit of drop of oil on the posts. You know, I don't have to put a lot, but oops, that'll work. I gotta clean that oil off that idler there. And let me put the camera down. I gotta just clean that oil that fell on that thing there. Yeah, I'll just try to get everything nice and clean. Boy, if I don't get that oil off that idler, that's not good. That's gonna get on the tire. So I gotta get that cleaned off there. There we go. There we go. Clean the idler. And I just bought a new package of Q-tips, so I now have alcohol as well. I was able to find some alcohol. I found 91% alcohol, which is fine, and I had to pay a high price to get the 99.9% alcohol. I did pick that up as well. I ordered the 99% alcohol. I had the 99% alcohol was still coming to me, and it was in transit. So the 99%, while I was waiting for that to come in, I was at Walmart, and I happened to come across a whole shelf full of 91% bourbon alcohol. So I grabbed 3 bottles, and I'm gonna, as soon as I can, I'm gonna go back there and pick up some more, because people are charging extremely large amounts of money for rubbing alcohol online, because the stupid coronavirus, everybody was panicking and buying up all the alcohol, all the hand sanitizers, all the disinfectants. You know, people just panicked and started buying everything. And then when the stores knew what the people were doing, when they would get something in, they jacked the price up to 2-3 times what it normally was, and they did this on purpose. So, which is really frustrating and irritating. So when I find alcohol in a store, I buy it. If I have the money, I'll pick it up. So I'm also gonna clean the little sensors here. These are the tape sensors. So you see this little black piece? This has got a little sensor in there, and it detects the rotations of the reels. And then this one down here as well. So there's this black one right down in there. So what I'm going to do is we just put the camera over here so that you guys can still somewhat hear me and see what I'm doing. So I'll get a Q-tip, you know, and the thing is with the alcohol is, like, it's so irritating, because just to charge, you know, 3, 4, 5 times to charge $12 for a little 8-ounce bottle of 99% alcohol, it's ridiculous. So I'm just cleaning the sensors here, and it happens. Like, they're getting away with it because people bought up all the stuff, so nobody can get anything. And usually the people that have went and bought all that shit up, they're the ones charging, you know, 3-4 times the amount for fucking rubbing alcohol. It's just ridiculous. It's like, gosh, you people are just don't care about nobody but yourself. And it's like, just, it's all me, greedy. You know, look what I got. Look, oh, I can charge this amount of money. Stupid. But they get away with it. Now, I'm also going to clean the pinch roller here. And I might even take this pinch roller off to do it. But I'll put some rubber renew on there, and that will what I'll do is load this. I'll start to load it just enough to where I can get to the tire, and spin it, because we're going to put some rubber renew on there as well. But right now, yeah, I'll just do that right now. So, and then we have to wait a few minutes for the stuff to dry and soak into the end of the tire. I can take the tire off by just taking this E-clip off, but if I can do it while it's still attached to to the VCR. It'd just be easier. So. I'm almost out of this stuff. This stuff is so freaking pricey. So here's what I use. This is Rubber Renew. And it's a chemical by MG Chemicals. And this bottle's been leaking. It's been on its side. It fell on its side. And I did not know it. I'm just going to pour a little bit of Rubber Renew into the cap. Then I can just dip my Q-tip into it and so alright, so I'm just gonna dip the Q-tip into the Rubber Renew. Because I don't want to drop the stupid thing, but alright, let's see if we can get, there we go. You guys can kind of get a better view. Let's just do that. You guys can kind of get a little bit of a sense of what I'm doing in here. Okay, so dipping that into the Rubber Renew. I'm just going to put it on the side here, apply it to the side. It also cleans the rubber. It's not only rejuvenating it, but it's cleaning it as well. And then this stuff has to sit on the rubber for a good 10 minutes to let it really soak in. But let me show you the dirt that I just got off of there. Look at that. All that just came off that pinch roller. Did I say rubber idler tire? I might have said rubber idler tire. I meant to say pinch roller. So we got my pinch roller here. Let's get this pinch roller. So it cleans the pinch roller and rejuvenates it. And by doing it this way, you know, you're restoring the pinch roller. And even if the pinch roller has a little bit of sheen on it, you can still kind of restore it with this stuff. But it depends on how bad a condition the rubber is in. Obviously, if the rubber is cracked, it needs to be replaced. But we don't have a cracked. Our rubber is not cracked, so. So the rubber is not cracked, and so we can go ahead and put that Rubber Renew on there, and we can get it to where it's gonna work out pretty good. So, but there was a issue with the I can't remember what I was going to say, but anyways, like, I'm just trying to get this, I'm just trying to get, you know, this rubber pinch roller in better shape than it was. That stuff, you know, it really soaks into the pinch roller and starts to restore and rejuvenate rubber. Rubber is supposed to be nice and soft, and a lot of times the pinch roller can get hard and start to have a sheen on it. But if your pinch roller is cracked in any way, dry rotted, Rubber Renew is not going to help it. You're going to have to replace it. But if you want to take the, you take this, you can see this clip here. This clip, this E-clip, if you pull that off, the whole pinch roller will come right out. So if you want to take your pinch roller completely out, that's what you'd want to do. So I've let it sit for a while, and the Rubber Renew is nice and dry now. And I did put a little Rubber Renew on this belt just to kind of allow it to start working. But we're going to put new belts on it anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. So fast forward seems to work. It's not going to win any races, but Sanyos never were very fast in rewinding. Nope, it's having trouble. We're going to have to replace That's what's happening, guys. The idler is fine. The cassette housing, however, is not. So I know what's happening now. So the idler motor is fine, but the tape is not fully seating into place. Because watch, see how it does that? Well, we push it down. Now we hit rewind. I'm gonna fast forward it past the bad part. There's a bad section in the film. And I can show just a little bit of the picture. This is about all I can show you, because YouTube gives me a copyright claim if I show, you know, certain sections of the TV. Like the whole, if I show the whole TV screen, YouTube will copyright me. And I've already lost one channel, I don't want to lose another one. And the tape is down in there all the way, so. Yeah, so. That's exactly what's happened to this machine. So, I need to pull the cassette basket, and let's put a fresh new belt on it and see what happens then. First thing I need to do is unplug the machine. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and take the screws out. Well, let's take this, the screws out that I can get to, and then we'll move the cassette basket. and that will allow me to access the other 2 screws that are needed. We're also going to have to take the screws out of the thing. Yeah, and there is definitely an issue. I'm going to move the camera to a different angle so that you guys can see better. Let's see if that one, I think that's gonna be a little bit better of an angle that I can show you guys what I'm doing here. I still have to get my tripod. I need to get my tripod out of the mini storage, because then I can put the camera so where it's shooting down on what I'm working on. And the tripod is going to be the better thing to do, because, you know, when you got the tripod allowing you to actually see just exactly what I am doing. So basically I'm just pulling this cassette basket forward enough to where I can now get to the other screws. And like I said, I do have another cassette basket, so if need be, I can pull it out. Gotta have a nice good screwdriver. Now I can pull the basket back. I just want to make sure that I can get make sure I get all the screws out. You know, so I just get, and I've got to unscrew I got to take this front face off. You know, it's probably just a hair out of alignment. It's probably what it is. But when this thing, even if it's just a hair off of the alignment, that'll cause it not to fully seat down. So I just try not to make this video too long, and I'll probably just edit it down, the video down a little bit, so you guys can just basically, so you guys can see, you know, what I'm doing. Just get the basic fundamentals, or, you know, just the basic procedures on how they're doing a check on the cassette housing. So, okay, so I can now lift this off. I'll put that down on the floor. Don't forget to disconnect your wire going to the cassette. And you gotta move this front piece, has to be moved out of the way. Get those two big screws out of there. Okay. So unplug that. Oh, there's a wire that connects to the front here. I'm not sure why they put that wire there, but they did. Alright. Use a magnetic screwdriver, that's much better to do, because then you don't have to worry about screws falling down into the machine and trying to get them out. Okay. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the motor here. I got to take this side motor off so that I can access the belt, and we're going to put a new one on, and because I do have those, we're going to install those. So go ahead and take these screws completely out so we can put the new belts into place. So there's 3 screws here on the side, and they will allow you to get access to the belt. Now, if you've never worked on this mechanism before and you're worried about not knowing how to put it back together, take pictures. I don't have to do that because I've worked on these so many times that I know exactly where the gears go. And, you know, and I could basically take this whole cassette basket apart piece by piece and put it back together in my sleep. So, because I've worked on these things for over 5 years, I have been working on beta machines. So I have got to know quite a few. Okay, alright. There's that belt. Now that one's a little worn, but it still should have been fine for doing that. But so okay, so now, if you move these gears, don't worry. I'm going to put them back. But the best thing you can do is, if you've never took it apart before and you're not confident enough to put it back together, hold the pulley into place. Just put your finger on the pulley, and then when you pull the belt off, it won't move. And also you can use a Sharpie and you could put a little mark so that you know where the gear goes if it moves out of its place. So let me go get, I'm gonna go get the new belts and let's put them in. So I went ahead and inserted it, and still having issues, and come to find out that the plastic gear is not going to show up on camera. That white plastic gear had a crack. So that crack is what was causing it not to fully seat down into the machine. So I had another cassette housing that I installed, and now it seems to do what it should do. So now I think we'll be able to insert a tape, and it should rewind now, because now it's got a tape going all the way down in. Yep. Let's get past that bad spot. Yeah, let's play. And we do have a picture. Can't show much of it. Sorry guys. I can only show like just partial of the video, or the screen. Forward is working. Reverse is working. So it seems to be working now. And let's put it back in just to make sure. Yep. I'm not going to win any races in fast forward. Actually, I had a washer. There's on these reels. Okay, so on the reels, when you take the cut washer off, there's a spacer that goes underneath. And that spacer is missing because I lost it. So I have to get a new spacer, but I think that might be contributed to why it may not be fast forwarding. I don't know why there's it's fast forwarding fine, but it hesitates just a little bit. I think it's because that spacer in there is missing. I don't know what that spacer is for, honestly, but I do know that the spacer goes in and then the cut washer goes on top of that. So, and I'm not sure why, but you know, okay, so now we have a brand new cassette basket. We put a brand spanking new belt on there, which is nice and tight. And the next thing that we're going to do, I have a new belt for this. This is a brand new belt for the loading motor. So we're going to install this, and that will get this thing up and going. I had to order these belts from a different company because Studio Sound Electronics, I guess, currently, or at least when I ordered these things, they were out. They sold out. But it did say that they are going to get more in. So they're still making the belts. And Studio Sound Electronics is in fact, I think let's look on Studio Sound Electronics website and see if they got any more in, because I think that they said they were going to have more coming in. So let's go to Studio Sound Electronics. Yeah, and I'm just going to put Sanyo beta belt. Yeah, I think that's how I found it. Yeah, so they do have them right now. Okay, they do have them. So apparently they've restocked them. So now I'm gonna order more from them. I had to go to I think it was SM Electronics. Can't remember, but I had to go with the SMC Electronics is what I did. Is I had to order from different people, but it's good that they got them again. But anyway, so the fact that this now will rewind and it'll fast forward. There's still a little squeaking in fast forward, but that's something I can live with. So this is working good. This is not in hi-fi, by the way. This is a mono recording. That's why the hi-fi audio light goes out. Is installed nice and tight. Freshly installed. Let's see if it loads better. It shouldn't load as fast as it does. This should not load super quick. It should be nice and steady, smooth transition. See that? See how slow it's moving? It's not super fast. It's not supposed to be. And when it does that, it's not supposed to be, you know, super fast. If that thing is wrapping it around fast, that's because the belt's a little bit worn and should be replaced. But this has got brand new belts. It has a brand new idler belt. It has a brand new loading belt. It has a brand new belt for the cassette housing. And this thing is in perfect condition. It is now working to its fullest. We can do picture search. And now we can fast forward. It is a little squeaky, but you know, that's just what it does. But we got rewind. I don't know why why it squeaks in fast forward. I really don't have any explanation for that. But the only thing that we need to do now is we've already cleaned and re-lubed the idlers, and we got new idler tires, we've got brand new belts, we've got a different cassette housing in here. So the next thing we need to do is clean the heads, and after we do that, then I will start putting this machine back together, and this machine will be ready for use. And it's going to get used tonight because I want to watch a movie called Wizard of Oz. So I'm going to watch that tonight, and I'm going to watch it on this thing. I could watch it on my SOH 1000, but I'm going to watch it on this one because I want to make sure that everything is working properly. So I'm going to clean the heads, and then I'll put it back together, and then we'll do a demo. So I was starting to put this thing back together, And then I kind of realized, I thought that this tape was in mono, but it wasn't. It was recorded in hi-fi. And I also put in some other tapes that are recorded in hi-fi stereo. Our hi-fi stereo light does not light up. It is, I think it is in hi-fi stereo, but it's not saying it on the front here. And I was getting my meter out here, and I was checking some of the capacitors, because I'm thinking that this is the audio board up here. And I was checking some of the caps, and they tested, one of them tested bad. There were some other ones that tested that they may need to be changed. This thing will tell me if it needs to be changed or if it's good. If it's in the white, that's kind of questionable, and if it goes into the white, then it's a good cap, but it's not. It's being recommended to replace it. So this basically will tell me, okay, it's still good, or it's bad, or it'll tell me, you know, question mark. So determining that, let me show you what's happening. So we have our hi-fi lights on, but when we go into play, and it goes out, and it shouldn't. But this is a stereo. This is recorded in Super Beta, and it's also recorded in hi-fi stereo. So, you know, our light should be coming on. Now, yes, there is a piece of the circuit board that's broken, but that's not the issue. I thought that could be a problem, but that's not the problem, because there's no leads or anything that are broken. So, but what one was it over here? It was this light blue capacitor here was bad. These two capacitors up here are bad, and the bigger one, this one right here, tested, it was good still, and the bigger cap on top is bad. So I think, you know, until I'm gonna start, I think I'm gonna change some of these caps and see what our results are. Because I do think that maybe by replacing some of these capacitors that have went bad or is going bad, you know, sometimes a capacitor may still be working, but where it's not working 100%. And it's really weird, because a capacitor could work either 100%, or it might work, say, as an example of like 80%. And so my meter sometimes will tell me it needs to be changed. So that's what I'm gonna do. But I turn the volume up, and it sounds like it's in hi-fi, but it's probably not, because it's not, the light's not coming on. If a hi-fi track was playing, that light should come on, and this is tracking perfectly. Another thing that can happen is, if it's not tracking properly, you could lose the beta hi-fi. But we have perfect tracking. There's absolutely perfect tracking. So we don't have a tracking issue. And yes, I can turn the tracking knob, but it doesn't do any good. It just doesn't do a damn thing. So, you know, turning the tracking is not doing anything either, so. But like I said, well, I mean, we have perfect tracking. I mean, it's perfect. And I clean the heads, I clean the tape path, I clean everything that tape touches. So I do. So I'm gonna get my soldering iron hot, and then we'll change out some of these electrolytics. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and put my meter away here, and we're just gonna wait for my ironer here to heat up. But I thought while my ironer is getting hot, I thought I would kind of show you up close what caps that are bad. So if we turn this thing around here, we'll turn it around here. So let me show you some of the caps that tested bad. So this light blue capacitor is bad. These two tested bad. These were testing okay in this area. I think it was this one that was bad down in here. So there's quite a few electrolytics that has failed. This one is tested bad, but I cannot change this one out because I don't have one. This is a 16 volt at 47 microfarads, and I only have a 16 at 33 or a 16 at 100. Yeah, you can go up a little bit, but I'm not going to change that until I have the right ones. But you know, this you know, sometimes if you've got capacitors that are, you know, like I said, they're working at like 80%, you know, they're not fully 100%. They're still working enough to where, you know, you may not notice a problem, but it's kind of interesting that you can have, you know, capacitors that are testing bad or are going bad, but yet the machine still works. And sometimes you can have capacitors that are starting to go bad in the video circuitry, and that can cause noise bars drifting through the picture. It could have picture quality could be poor. So if you've got very poor picture quality and you've adjusted the tracking and you're still getting poor picture quality, yeah, check out some of the capacitors because they do go bad. You know, I mean, these things are over 30 years old. There's bound to be a couple of them that are bad. But you know what? I have found over the last few years that there are some that the capacitors are fine. It's not always a capacitor, but they do go bad, and that does happen quite often. You know, you'll get one in and you'll have to change one or two of them, maybe even 5. But, you know, that does happen, so. But this iron should be getting hot by now. I'm not sure if it's quite there yet, but. So, let me check here. I'm just gonna check and see. We'll check here on the board. just see if this one is heated up enough to where I can pull it out. Okay, so we pulled that one out. So now I can start replacing them. Okay, so we've got a 16 at 10 that needs to be changed. We'll see what I've got here in my supply of caps. See, 16 at 10. Okay, there we go. Oh, gotta get my other one because I'm out of those. I have two trays of these caps. So one of them's bound to have the 16 at 10. I'll have there we go. Let's get this one in. We'll just get that one in and we'll replace it. And so I thought maybe you guys would like to see me replacing the caps because I know you don't get to see me doing that very much. So let's see, plus is over here. Okay, just making sure the plus and negative just gotta get a little solder out of there. Let me get my little suction cup here. Sometimes when you're pulling the caps out, sometimes the solder, there's still some residue and you have to, it's covering the hole. Sometimes I don't get it the first try. This thing is having trouble sucking the solder up, so I'm gonna end up buying a new one of these. And I've emptied them, but you empty them out when you use them, but sometimes they just don't last. So here's our 16 at 10 microfarad. Well, let's get this let's put this one in. So what I do is I'll put the cap in and bend the leads so that it stays into place, So now I can solder it into place. And I'm gonna have to change tips, I think, pretty soon, because this tip on sometimes these tips don't last very long, especially these cheap soldering irons. And I am gonna invest in a better iron. I just right now don't have quite the funds yet. Yeah, this okay. And then I just take my little diagonal cutters here, and we'll just clip off. We'll just clip the ends off here. Clip the leads. Okay. There's another one there. There's another one that we'll pull out. Yeah, this board's marked out real good on what it is, so. There we go. This one is 50 at 50 volt at 1 microfarad. Let's see, 50 at 1 microfarad. There it is. I always double check them too, because you always double check the cat, even though that it's marked. I always double check to make sure that what it is. Yep, 50 volt at 1 microfarad. So we'll change that. And I'll get my little suction cup here. Sometimes I like to take the tip and clean off the tip with this thing. Always make sure you put the right cap in, and make sure you don't drop them on the floor like I did. Alright, this one is positive is on that side. Yeah, always make sure you put the right right ones. So we'll just kind of change out some of these caps, and then we'll plug it in and see if we got any results. You know, so we'll see. Yeah, I need to get a new tip. I need to get a new tip on that. Sometimes if you leave them plugged in, leave them hot, the cheap ones, the expensive irons, they have an adjustment on them, so you can keep them at a certain temperature. But these cheap ones, they can go up as high as, like, you know, 470 degrees, you know. And then the tip you can keep your tip nice and clean and it'll still go bad on you. So I'm going to invest in a good set of, I need to invest in a good soldering iron. So we'll just this one is a 25 volt at what's that, 47? Yeah, 25 volt at 47 microfarad. Trying to find there we go. So I don't think I'll show me replacing every single one because that would make the video way too long. So, okay, so 25 volt at 47 microfarads. Okay, we're gonna put that one in. Get my little, sometimes there's like a little a little solder that's, you know, left over, and gotta get rid of it. Sometimes I like to clean my tip off here. Any excess solder. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and we will put that in. Negatives up there, so let's see, where the heck am I? There we go. There it is. Like I said, I like to bend the leads. Stay into place. Looks like I'm gonna need to get some more solder too. Yeah. Okay, so we'll change out some more here, and we'll cut the video back in, and we'll fire this up and see if we've made any difference or not. I'm pretty sure that I think it should change it, but you never know, you know. The problem may not have anything to do with this board, but when I tested some of them on this board, you know, they tested bad. So, you know, I got ones that are bad, and you know, it's like, well, it's time to change them. Well, guys, I've been replacing, you know, quite a few of the capacitors on this board, and it's helped the picture quality. It hasn't done anything as far as the hi-fi light displaying while it's playing. I still can't figure that out, and the thing is I'm gonna have to get like a schematic, because I'm not quite sure where the audio board is. Part of the audio is done on this big board, I know that, because I'm going from like the audio head and follow the wires. Some of them going into here and some going to this one. So, you know, I think I'll have to start checking caps on this board too, but I need like a schematic. Okay guys, so I'm still not getting the hi-fi audio light to stay on when it's in play mode, but I did improve the picture quality. Yeah, I've actually improved the quality of the picture quite a bit by changing those capacitors. Now I do know that going from the audio control track, or the audio head, some of the wires are going into this board, some of them are going into this one. So I think that this board is probably going to be the one that maybe I need to start checking for caps, because basically I've recapped this whole little board. Has been recapped except for the good ones. So the ones that were still good, I left them, because I don't change caps unless they're bad, or unless I'm doing an experiment, which is what I've done here. So, but I can hear it playing in hi-fi stereo, so I think it is playing back hi-fi stereo. I think that but maybe it ain't. I mean, usually when that light doesn't go on, usually it's telling you it's not in hi-fi mode. But you know, I'm gonna get a schematic for this thing, and then we'll do some investigating and see what board turns this light behind. We'll look at the hi-fi circuitry. So that was, dog got stepped on out there. That's what that whine was. Poor dog. Anyway, okay, so let me show you that, you know, yeah, the picture quality has improved, and you know, and like I said, bad caps can cause video noise, or they can cause the video quality to not be as good. So, you know, and I've replaced quite a few caps, so I'll show you here how many I've replaced. Okay, so I got this back together. So these caps were all bad. So I'd say what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, about 12 caps that were replaced. Most of them were 50 volt at 1 microfarad. Some were 16 volt at 10 microfarad. And there's one that was a 16 at 22. So these are all of them that I've changed so far. And I think I might end up just buying up some more capacitors and maybe just recap that whole board, you know, just recap the whole thing, you know. But I don't know, I haven't decided. I think if I recap the whole board, I would say that the hi-fi audio light should come on, unless that little chip that was broke off of the corner of the board, that could have had something to do with it too. But I don't think so, because I don't see any leads or anything. When I was looking at the broken piece, I didn't see that there was any broken traces. So I think there might have been one or two, but there might have been like one or something. But I just think that, you know, but these caps, they were bad, so throw those in the garbage. And for right now, we've got a new, different, we changed out the belts, the cassette basket, and so far changing those bad electrolytics has improved the video quality. So anyway, we will see you in the next video. Bye bye.